Alicia, I overheard you say something that impacted both the teacher-child relationship and potentially the teacher-teacher relationship. Can you share what you said about children almost preferring?
Typically, because we do observations for our mentor coaching before we just observe the teachers. And we don't want to be influenced by anything. So when we go in, we just pay attention to children that are drawn more to one staff as opposed to the other. A relationship may be strained because of that very fact that one teacher is very, very insulting or stern or for whatever reason. Some children are drawn more to the teacher that's more docile, softer, and provides more positive affirmation in the classroom. So they just kind of shy away from their teacher, and it's very typical.
I appreciate that. That's something that you look for when you go into classrooms and interactions. That's so important.
And then that is something that we have to start working on.
Yeah, I mean, and if you think about it, it also impacts, so if I know if I'm the teacher that children are shying away from and they're going towards the other teacher, that might impact my relationship with that other teacher as well, right?
And it does.
Yeah. So the right level of encouragement supports really everyone who's in that space, adults and children alike.
And to go a step further, then it can even impact your relationship with the parent.
Oh yeah, you know that's true, right?
If I come in and every time I come to pick up my child, you have something negative to say about my child, I'll just send a sibling in. Go get your brother.
Right. And then what do we see? We see more absences.
Exactly.
We see more tardies. The parents don't want to get involved in things because they don't feel like they're welcome. They just feel like a trusting environment, right? That's huge. Thank you so much for adding that.
Even think about as an adult. I mean, who are you more likely to want to hang out with or gravitate to? It's not going to be the negative person that's, you're going to be like, no, I don't have time for that, right? So even as an adult, that's what you're going to think about too.
Right, we all need it. I love that. Well, and in Seeds, there are a couple, you have so many strategies that you use with your adults and your children alike. And within Seeds, there are a couple that we'll focus on for encouragement specifically, which you probably already have a whole bunch of resources for. The positive, nonverbal communication is one, affirmation is another, and then praise is the third one. We're going to talk a little bit about the difference between affirmations and praise. So the first one we'll look at, hold on. There we go. Just like that. Is positive nonverbal communication. So with positive nonverbal communication, it's a positive exchange without any words, right? So it might be eye contact is one that we've talked about before, or a smile is another one. Did you know that 95% of the messages you communicate come from nonverbal messages? I had no idea. What am I communicating all the time? How do you even be aware of that? How are you even aware of that? And like children are they're sensors. They're so aware, right? So if there's whatever you're communicating, they're gonna pick up on. So I want you to think about what are different positive nonverbal communications that we use day to day with children and adults. I've come up with smile. I've come up with eye contact. I want each of your tables to come up with 3 more. Okay? 3 more.
Yeah. I thought about that. No, I was going to say something. That's like I'm watching.
Okay, let's see what we came up with. Let's start with this table here. What are the 3 positive nonverbals you came up with? Fist bump, yes? Yes. Great. What else? Did you come up with others? Thumbs up. High 5. Great. Let's out on here.
A nod of affirmation, physical proximity, and a thumbs up.
Yeah, great. Thank you. What did you come up with here?
He said like you could blink at okay, or you could even say like, you made a connection.
Ah, yeah. Oh, once they learn that one, they love that one, right? They're doing that all the time.
With each other too, teach them how to do it with peers, like in large groups and things.
Yeah, what's that on?
We had all those.
Oh, great. Great minds think alike. Perfect. So now, if you've heard one that you haven't heard before, take that with you. Ooh, I'm seeing this a little.
Yes.
Nice. That's very sweet. Very sweet. So you've got some positive nonverbals, and they're quick, right? For a busy teacher, it's a great tool to use because it just communicates your message in a positive way, reinforces the behavior of whatever the child is doing, and will increase the likelihood of it happening again.
We also use a lot of visuals of the expectations with a thumbs up, like you're doing great instead of a redirection. Like a lot of times I'll see sometimes visuals of a redirection with them that become negative. So instead, like a picture of one of your expectations and like giving them a smile, like that's what you're doing, that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's great for lots of great ideas. Keep them coming. So another thing we'll talk about with encouragement is affirmation. We've been talking a lot about affirmation actually, but just to kind of stamp understanding, it's a positive statement that describes a mirror, so it's objective of what is observed. So you may have heard of a new popular theory and concept in education is around a growth mindset. And so some of that work started with Carol Dweck from Stanford. And she created studies that have focused on the effects of process praise, which means praising effort or strategy. You must have worked very hard on this painting, is an example of process praise, opposed to saying like, wow, you're a beautiful artist, right? Like both carry positive meaning, but process praise, what's important about that is that it's very specific. It gives kids feedback around what they're doing, and that helps it to continue. Her recommendation is to get more involved with what the child is doing. Strive for 5 is great for that, and commenting, being a sensitive teacher. She tells us, appreciate it, ask questions. If we see that the child is using interesting strategies, we can talk about them. Talk to them about their thought processes and how they learn from mistakes. Okay? So with affirmations, I want you to discuss at your table, check for understanding. What is an affirmation? Go ahead. You're turning back this way. And one. We're ready. Thank you for sharing that. The reason why I wanted to bring that up is I think oftentimes affirmation gets a little bit confused with praise, and they're actually two very different things. And so you're open to page 31 in your manual. That's great. Praise is a phrase or a word that expresses an opinion or approval for someone's actions. It is often subjective and based on your feelings. For example, a child came into the classroom and went to the sign-in sheet and printed her name. And the praise they receive is, good job. In that same scenario, what would be an affirmation? Process praise for a child who came into the classroom, went to the sign-in sheet, and printed her name.
Perlina, I see you went to the sign-in sheet and put it there.
Yeah. Anything else? It's pretty good on it, right? Yeah. Great. So before we go on to the next piece, what I'd like to do is a little bit of review. We've talked about closed-ended questions, open-ended questions, positive nonverbal communication, and affirmation. 4 different strategies, right? I want you to stand up, partner with someone who is not at your table, pick one of those things, and give them a 30-second commercial about it. Open-ended questions, closed-ended questions, positive nonverbals, and affirmations. Pick one of those